Hey guys, I'm Janet, on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So as you can see, I brought the vampire counts with me today. So I've got Manfred von Carstein on a flying mount, bit of a risk, but you know, he causes terror, nice maneuverability, so I can get some spells off really easily, which is lovely, provided they don't bring an air force. Luckily they didn't, so I've got 3 lots of spearmen in the back, I've got 3 lots of crypt horrors in the middle, and I've got an absolute shite ton of graveguard, so they can be really useful for just chopping through Empire infantry, which is lovely. So also got Necromancer on a unholy lodestone corpse cart, so again, really useful. So yeah, if my general dies, then hopefully the Necromancer can hold the fort a bit. That was my thinking, you know, what with the risky move of bringing such a tiny air force. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. So if I look at the other guy, so he's got huge front line of swordsmen, so quite cheap front line, but obviously massive. So, you know, he can pin a lot of my guys in place, and do a fair bit of damage, to be honest. That's a lot of units. He's also got a couple of Rights Guard on the edge, which is very cool. Don't often see people bring Rights Guard. It's nice to see. Very nice to see Rights Guard. Also, he's got a steam tank, which is brilliant. So obviously, he was saving some money on his front line, getting the cheaper units, and not, you know, just like a load of great swords or something. So he could bring this this steam tank, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's quite good against vampire counts, because obviously he's got the cannon to hit some of the larger targets before we get in, and it does pretty damn well in melee. And that steam gun, it just melts like spearmen and all sorts. You know, it'll melt through skeletons, which is pretty good. But it does cause terror, and I don't have to worry about that. So because yeah. Skeletons don't really get scared, so that's good. He's also got a load of crossbowmen in the back. I think he's got them a bit far forward though. I think if he had them further back it'd be better, because you know, as soon as my front line hits I can just put zombies all over them. But he does have halberdiers back here to sort of protect them, and halberdiers, I think he had them back there just in case I brought sort of blood knights and things like that and tried to get around him, because yeah, you wouldn't really want to have, you know, halberdiers just guarding against zombie spam, really, would you? So you know, I think that's his thinking. So I'll speed things up a bit. But yeah, I really do love seeing the Rights Guard though. They're so cool. Really good units. Against vampire counts, might have been worthwhile maybe dropping a couple of swordsmen and bring the Knights of the Blazing Sun instead, because those fire attacks are fantastic against the undead. You know, because things like crypt horrors, you know, they're weak to fire. It stops them regenerating, and you know, it's just really useful to have fire attacks. So yeah, maybe that would have been a better call. But still, Rights Guard, very formidable. And you can see, wisely, he goes straight for my crypt horrors with his cannon on his steam tank, which is very wise. I use a spirit leech on it because that does actually work. I wanted to see how much damage it did do, and unfortunately it doesn't do as much as I'd like. But you know, it does start to whittle down the steam tank, because obviously they're unbreakable as well. So if you don't kill it, it'll keep fighting. So it's nice to get some early damage on there quickly, because if you can get it, you know, dealt with nice and early, all the units you're going to be using to try and deal with it can then go and fight other things. So the more damage early on, the better. So here, I think I make a bit of a mistake here. I take Manfred quite a long way around, so it actually takes me quite a while to start getting zombie spam on his units. And as you can see, I've already started moving my crypt horrors to deal with the steam tank, because I figured, you know, nice heavy armor piercing. If I just mob him with the crypt horrors early, I should be able to do some serious damage to it. But of course, I am taking serious damage with the crossbowmen, and I haven't got zombies on them yet. So, not ideal, really. So yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage that I didn't really need to be taking. But, you know, I can heal through it. You know, an Invocation of Heck will be, you know, be pretty good. Just as long as I don't lose a whole model, you know, a whole unit, rather. So yeah, as long as I can hang on, it should be fine. So here, you know, I shut down a couple of their crossbowmen, which is good. You can see, though, you know, halberdiers are going to be fighting it. Those zombies aren't going to last very long. So here, this is when I pull out. Try and get the rest of my guys back in. He's charging into my lines now, but you know, that's fine, I'll just ignore him. And now I double back round, try and attack him again. You can see his Rights Guard are coming around for a flank. Again, a little bit too far. He did what I did, he took far too big a line around in order to flank, because, you know, he didn't need to do that. It wasn't going to make a difference if he just ran, like, along here. I wasn't going to chase him or anything. And if I did, he could just outrun me. But, oh well. So I've got more zombies in here, still trying to clog up the back line. So yeah, 3 units now in the back. You can see they do very little damage to the crossbowmen before they melt away completely, but it stops them fighting. Now I've got a load of graveguard in the front line, and you can see the steam tank has taken a lot of damage from my crypt horrors. I also kept some spearmen attacking it because they got the anti-large bonus, like no armor piercing, but still that anti-large bonus will help do a bit of damage to the steam tank, and it means that if they did try and back up the steam tank with the Rights Guard, I'd have a load of spearmen in there. So yeah, they'd be able to fight off the cavalry quite well. So that was my thinking. So, yep, still spawning zombies all over the shop. Here's another bunch. And you can see his general's actually taking a fair bit of damage in here. As is his steam tank. I think they're all just, you know, engaged a load of crypt horrors. So here comes in with a nice rear charge. So yeah, a lot of damage to that graveguard. And I'm pretty sure, yep, try and put zombies in the way as I get my spearmen onto him. So a little bit caught up here, but they do go through the zombies fairly well. But you know, he has to keep telling them to, and yeah, put even more zombies down. So yeah, I'm just trying to clog up this end. I keep doing that. So whenever they charge in with cavalry, I get something that'll be good against them to try and chase them, and then bog them down with zombies. So here I decided to go in for his general, because the general's a bit preoccupied at the moment. I'm not sure what Manfred's doing, just running around in a little circle, but that's fine. He's still got like full health, and he's taken almost no damage, so he can heal through it. So, you know, pretty handy, pretty handy. You can see a lot of his guys start to run. So a lot of his swordsmen, you know, they're really finding it tough, especially now that I've sent Manfred in. They're getting terrified, which is great, because if they're running away in terror, then, yeah, there's far less of their units trying to back up their own. You know, the ones that are actually still standing still. So they're going to start going, oh no, I'm outnumbered, and you know, they're going to start losing fights more, and they're going to run away. So it really helps just sort of start that chain route. You know, if you terrify a few of them, so it's pretty good. So you can see his general is trying to fight Manfred now, but I've got my necromancer chasing him as well. So see, his halberdiers sat here. It would have been great to get them after my general, and it took him quite a while to do that, which is a shame because. Yeah, he could have probably saved his general here, because I would not have wanted to be in a fight with his general and a load of halberdiers. So yeah, here, try and clog up these spearmen who I thought were coming to back him up a bit, but they weren't, actually, they were running away. Terrified, which is pretty handy. But yeah, just, you know, throwing zombies in wherever I think stuff will be trying to poke at me is really useful. Also terrified his halberdiers now, thank God. Did not want to be in a fight with them for too long. Steam tank, still going. It's about to go, though. It's about to go. Hopefully soon. So yeah, Right's Guard is still going. So yeah, Right's Guard coming in again. So pretty formidable, Right's Guard. So here I do just decide to chase his general with Manfred, because frankly I can hold the fort here, and I've got my necromancer for like zombie spam and invocation to heck. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to have my my lord chase his off the map, and anything that comes to try and fight me in the meantime will take a bit of damage and get terrified away pretty quickly, because their morale is awful. So I think they just got terrified. I think these guys are about to get terrified. So, you know, I don't have to worry too much about them sort of ganging up on Manfred. And if it does look like he's going to get ganged up on, I can just fly away. So I'm quite happy for him to chase. So even more zombies coming in, try and get behind these Right's Guard. So, you know, I've still got a lot of Graveguard in here, and some spearmen, like, dotted around. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. But yeah, at this point he realises I'm not going to let his general go, and yeah, I've still got this massive blob of units, and he's just got all these sort of knackered guys around. So he does call it a day at that point, and I think fair enough. I think I had him there. So if we look at the breakdown, so here you can see, you know, his halberdiers did very well, but they were mainly fighting zombies in the back, which I think was a bad use of them. If he'd charged them in when my crypt horrors charged in. Maybe not the first time, but you know, when there's that big engage in the middle, I think getting them in the front line would have been really useful, because he could have probably wiped out my crypt horrors, he could have saved his steam tank, and that would have been really useful. Also, with them in the front line, along with the general, you know, the general would have been a lot safer, because I wasn't going to dive on the general with mine if, you know, if there were a load of halberdiers there that could do serious damage to my dragon. So, you know, I would have probably not dived him. So I think just use of halberds sort of threw it off, because I think that front line of cheap units, I think it tends to work quite well, to be honest, because you know, he did outnumber me in a few places. On his left flank, he could have actually surrounded me with spearmen, not with spearmen, with swordsmen, and my Graveguard wouldn't have done very well if they were completely surrounded like that. So you know, he did have spare units that he didn't quite utilise. I think he was mainly focused on getting his cavalry into, you know, good positions, and yeah, they did all right. But I did keep putting them in very difficult positions. Because yeah, my front line was doing fine. I didn't have to do much more micro. I was just basically worrying about these guys, and not about much else. But you can see his crossbowmen actually did pretty well, you know. And these were mainly shooting at my crypt horrors, like to begin with. They did a lot of damage against my crypt horrors. It's a shame he didn't follow it up by, you know, taking them out with his halberdiers. But yeah, it was pretty formidable. This is a pretty cool army. I think it worked quite well, but couple of things were misused slightly. He just didn't bring, you know, his sort of toughest units to bear when he needed them. So that was a bit of a pity. But yeah, I thought that was a fun one though. So thanks, Cronarch. That was a good game. And hopefully see you again soon. If you guys enjoyed this video, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.